What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here and I have a new video for you guys. And in this video, caught it! What's up everyone, it's your girl Shay here and I have a new video for you guys today. And in this video, I'm actually going to be showing you my interview that I did with Monica Rial and Caitlin Glass while at Crunchyroll Expo this past weekend. I once again want to extend my thanks and everything to everyone that was involved in helping to make this happen, and also a great big thank you to Caitlin Glass and Monica Rial for taking time out of your very busy schedules to allow me to interview you guys. It was definitely a great and wonderful experience, and I can't say thank you enough. So everyone, please check out this interview, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys like, you guys can introduce yourselves. I'm sure my audience will know who you are, but just in case.
Hi, okay. I'm Monica Rial.
I'm Caitlin Glass. Woo! And of course, I'm Shay for you guys that came back to my channel. And I'm here interviewing these lovely people. And I'm so happy I got a chance to have this opportunity to interview you guys. So thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, that was awesome. So I do have some questions for you guys.
Go for it.
And one of my first questions is, what prompted you guys to go into voice acting?
For me, it was just an opportunity that I ended up with. I had almost had a degree in theater. I do have one now, but when I started, I was not yet graduated. And even though I'm learning theater, we're taught, as actors, you take any opportunity that comes your way to be able to use your craft and make a living. And I went to school in the Dallas area, and that's where Funimation is. And so I didn't go into it thinking I'm going to make anime voiceover my career. It was just, this could be a gig. And it started out as a gig, and all these years later, now it is my career. But that's what prompted me, like, how could I make a living using my degree? And I have.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like same zoo, different monkeys kind of thing. Like, because I didn't actually think about being a voice actor. It was just kind of like, I'm an actor. This is cool.
Yeah.
I'm doing stage stuff. And then somebody was like, hey, do you want to do this thing in Houston? Because I'm in Dallas now, but I was originally from Houston. And I auditioned thinking, okay, well, this will be fun while I'm in college. I'm studying theater anyway. Might as well. And here we are.
It sounds like it's something where voice acting kind of found you guys.
Yeah,
You guys are still looking for it.
It's like that. What is it? I didn't find the thug life. The thug life
found me. VA life found me.
It's basically what it is.
That's what I love. I love when people come upon their job by accident and not looking for it. Like, sometimes looking for it is also amazing. But whenever I hear a lot of voice actor stories of like how they got started, they're all so different. But a lot of them I hear are like they came upon it by accident. Like
but most of them have that same origin story.
Yes,
that
they
we're
were
actors.
Yeah, a lot of them did.
But I definitely tell people like that are aspiring voice actors or that are interested in voice acting, like keep your options open, because you might think, oh, I want to be a voice actor, and then you end up on stage, and that's where you belong.
Yeah, same way we were like, we're going to be stage actors. I wanted to go to graduate school, and I wanted to study the classics, and I wanted to study abroad, but I ended up with this job at Funimation before I'd even graduated, and with an undergrad. So when I had it, I'm like, I think this is too good of a thing to walk away from right now. And so instead of being, on some stage in London somewhere, I'm behind a microphone making Japanese cartoons talk, and I'm okay with that.
Another one I have is, what anime has most affected you, or had the biggest effect on you?
Does it have to be one we've been in?
It could be any anime. So I know I have mine that have affected me.
There's so many. I would say recently. Can we go with recently?
Yeah.
Recently, working on Michiko and Hachin was a big deal to me, because that is such a empowering show, I think, for women. I got to meet Yamamoto-san last weekend, and it was really, really cool. I had a little moment with her where there was no translator around, and I'm like, Michiko, and she's like, oh, Michiko, and I'm like, yeah, Michiko. She's like, oh, I was like, this is the weirdest Japanese conversation I've had, but it was so cool. But that show was such a pivotal point in my career. My dad was really sick at the time. I was having a really, really hard time just in life, and that was a show that kept me strong and kept me going. So that one, plus it's about two strong female characters and what they go through in life, and I think that's kind of a story that the world needs to hear, is that women are strong.
Right. Remember that. Women are strong.
Yeah.
And strong is defined in many different
Yes.
ways.
Yes.
So, I'll go with one that I was not in, just because after all these years, it really still just sticks with me. And that is a show called Honey and Clover. And I watched it in Japanese. I had a friend that was really into it as well. We wouldn't watch it together, like sitting together, but we watched it and then both talk about it. And it's a really beautiful show. I'll tell Monica what it's about kids in art school. And I found this show shortly after graduating from college, and for kids, people in the arts. I mean, I was in theater, but the people that you go to school with become like your community, the ones in your major. And for theater and for art students as well, like you share the same common areas, you have all your classes together, and so you're kind of watching these students, and there are a couple that are new, and then there are a couple that are going to graduate, and you follow them over like 36 episodes, and it's a couple of years of their life, of what happens to them when they graduate, trying to get jobs, trying to find themselves, and all the different paths these different people can take, and just recognizing myself in pretty much everyone, depending on what stage of my career or life you wanted to look at. Was really, really beautiful and special, and it made me realize, so there are people out there who have had my same experience, even though they haven't been actors. There are art students that are that way. There are going to be engineering students that are that way, and it's also a really powerful show in how it utilizes music to help tell stories as well, like soundtracks. So I watched it in Japanese, so I've got like the translation of the lyrics on top and the translation of the speaking on bottom, and just seeing how they coincide with each other. And it's still one of my favorite soundtracks ever, and one of my very favorite shows. Like, I just cried and cried when it was over. It was awesome, in a good way,
Yeah,
like
in a
the
good
best
way,
way.
but like,
I love that show.
Oh, that's awesome.
I love shows that deeply affect people. Like for me, one of mine that deeply affected me was Nana. I love Nana. And another one, even though I haven't seen the movie yet, it was A Silent Voice. I read the manga first, and reading the manga, I was just like,
That one looks awesome. I can't wait to see it.
It's really good. I definitely recommend it. But that's cool. I like the one that you guys showed. And then, how do you determine what voice you feel a character should have?
Well, a lot of that is up to the director. The director is the one who gets to decide like how close we're going to be to what the Japanese created, how far you want to stray. But normally, like, you get your cues from the Japanese and from your what are called sides. Like when we go into audition, we get a book, and it's got like all of these different sides, and it's got a picture. If the character transforms, it'll have a picture of what that looks like, and then it'll give you a little blurb about kind of what this character's about, and then it'll have different lines for you to read. And so you can kind of tell based on the picture, and we all know those anime stereotypes and tropes, so you can kind of tell. And then once you get in the booth, you use the Japanese as a reference a lot of times, because if it's a really, really high-pitched thing, then you don't want to come in and talk like this, because it's just not going to work. But yeah, the director is the one that is, in the end, if they really wanted to change the voice around, they could. It's up to them.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. What she said.
That's all I said. Have you ever cosplayed? And if so, what was your favorite? Or what was your experience?
I have cosplayed. I've cosplayed two of my characters, Winry from Full Metal Alchemist, and I didn't do that in public, but I did it for a fan film that Vic Mignogna made back during the first run of Full Metal, and it's called Full Metal Fantasy. And he is a guy who like transforms into Edward as the show, as a little movie progresses, and in his, he comes across a Winry just at the bus station in Houston. So that was my first foray into cosplay. And then the year that Ouran High School Host Club came out, the dub, it was released around Halloween, and I was at a convention, so I dressed in Haruhi's one of her last costumes, the white tailcoat and the gray tux white tailcoat. So that was fun. And more recently, I even brought the cosplay this weekend, and maybe I'll wear it tomorrow, is Yo Watanabe from Love Live Sunshine, because she's my favorite. Yeah.
I was in the Full Metal Fantasy as well, so I guess that technically counts. I didn't even think about that. So yeah, I cosplayed Lyra Dante in that. And then there was, when I first started anime way back in the day, I was so excited about this role. I was playing Natsume in a show called Generator Ball, like way back when. So I created a Natsume costume and wore it for Halloween. And of course, nobody knew what it was because it wasn't out yet, because it took like 3 years for stuff to come out back then. So everybody's like, oh, you're one of those Sailor the Moon people. And I'm like, no, not really, but okay, I'm wearing a fuku. And then I guess recently, like 2 years ago, there's a con called Shudocon that I go to pretty regularly in Michigan, and they had a Black Butler kind of reunion. And so I got the whole Mayrin getup from head to toe, and it was awesome because before the panel, I just wandered around the convention and nobody knew it was me.
It's a different experience. People
so
stop
cool.
you because they like your costume.
They want to take a picture of
and
your
you
costume.
expect them to be like, oh my god, Monica Rial, can I? And they're like, just like, I love Mayrin, picture.
Yeah.
Whenever I dressed up as Haruhi, it was the same.
It's such a cool experience because you're like, so this is
why
what
they
it's like.
do it. This is why people do it. Okay.
But then at the same time, you get kind of annoyed because it's like, oh my god, I just want to go to the bathroom and I have to stop 10 times to take pictures. But when I came out, I thought it was going to be like, oh, people enjoyed it, whatever. But people lost their minds. It was so crazy. It was super fun.
When we did at Anime Expo in 2008, the year that Oron came out, we had this big panel. And props to Monica, she was not at said panel, but she's Renge in that show, and she wrote the show.
One of my favorite shows.
And she's awesome. So the big cast announcement panel was led by me because I was the director. And as I announced members of the host club, they came up from behind the stage and put on the blue sports coat. And then lastly, I think I had to announce that I was Haruhi, and then they gave me one. So you think that you're done with this experience, and now we're going to sit down and answer questions. But instead, from backstage, you hear Haruhi, and out runs Mike McFarland in drag, dressed as Ronka, because Ronka is a professional cross-dresser. Yeah, Mike in a wig and heels and a dress that he bought at Ross the day before. Allison and I had to go up and pick out clothes and pantyhose and everything. It was so great.
I saw that on YouTube. I saw it on YouTube, and I was like, this is the best thing ever.
I'm glad you think so.
And it's so great to hear about you guys cosplaying, because this has been my first convention I've ever cosplayed at.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't go with the anime character. I went with Diana Prince. So when she's on Themyscira in the warrior outfit.
Awesome, way to go.
Thank you, because everyone kind of wants to do Wonder Woman. I was like, I want to do something different, so I went with that. So I'm excited to be cosplaying, but I'm also nervous, and I had to go.
You're gonna look awesome. Are you kidding? I'm so excited for you.
Super awesome.
And I had to go out and buy shoes, and then I bought shoes half a size too small, and I was like, I gotta stretch them out. So I stuffed them with socks.
Get it. Way to go.
I'm so excited, but that's so awesome.
Yeah, you're gonna love it. It's super fun. I totally get it now.
It's like being the Disney princess at Disneyland, and you realize that you're making everybody's day. And I think that's probably another reason people do it. We work really hard at our jobs and everything we do in our lives to please people. And I know that they tell you don't be a people pleaser solely, but I think it's natural and normal to want your partner to be happy, to want your children to be happy. And it's nice that you can make a perfect stranger happy by dressing like Wonder Woman and taking a picture with them. And props to you, because I was Wonder Woman at Six Flags. Yeah. I did dress as Wonder Woman and take pictures with people. Perfect. So it's fun. It's incredibly empowering. You're like, hello, look at me in my star-spangled underwear. But you feel really powerful. So
I had a couple of different ideas. I was even going to go as Storm from X-Men.
Yes.
And then I heard it was going to be hot, and I was like,
okay.
I want to wear a wig because I'm going to be hot.
Yeah.
So I changed to that, but that's going to probably be my next one.
Oh, she's my favorite X-Men.
She's
mine too. Ever since I was a kid, when I watched the X-Men cartoon, it was all about Storm.
I was really sad when I was a kid because I was because I had the opposite coloring, and I'm like, I told my mom, I want to be black with white hair. And she goes, what? I was like, I'm the opposite. Can we change it? She's like, you can't change it. No, you can't. That's not how it works. And I'm like, I want to be Storm. She's like, no, you can still be Storm. We're just going to be a different Storm. I'm like,
Storm is my jam.
It was so sad.
You guys are amazing. And what made you want to take on different roles in the industry? Because I know that you also do directing and script writing, and I know you also have those as well. So
trying to see what we could get away with. boredom, a little bit of everything, keeping things fresh and new.
For me, the first thing I branched out into was directing, and it was honestly because I loved voice acting so much, but not just the experience of being in the booth and recording, but I loved the new family that I'd made. As I mentioned, talking about Honey and Clover, I had this theater family at school, and then I graduate, and suddenly they're gone. Everybody goes off to graduate school somewhere, or they move back to their home state, and you still only see a few of them. So I felt like so fortunate to be coming to this building, but sometimes I was only going in once a week or once every couple of weeks. So it was reaching out about directing was born out of the necessity for I need more community. How can I be in this place more often? And also like give more back to this art form that's given so much to me. So I kind of asked some questions about how does one go about directing? Do you even need any more directors? You kind of look like you're set here. But they wanted to have me on, and I'm so grateful. And so I just had to get trained and blah, blah, blah. So that's how I started directing. And I think I only started script writing just because somebody asked me if I could. Yeah.
I think that's how script writing usually happens. Or like when I started, it was way back in the day, and David Williams was working on D and Angel, and the scripts were really, really bad. The scripts that they had were not so good. So he's like, I don't know what I'm going to do about these scripts. I'm like, well, you know, I studied playwriting, and I've written, and I've been published. I mean, I'll try it. I can't tell you that I'm going to be any good at this particular thing. But he's like, well, it could be any worse than what I've got now. So that's how I started, and it just became a thing that I was really good at. So I've been doing it forever.
Yeah, I tried script writing right after I got married and before we were going to be moving out of the country. And I was trying it as something like maybe I can still do this and stay connected to the anime world wherever I end up and whatever I'm doing. But it didn't work for me at the time. But after a couple years and moving back, I started writing not for Funimation. And I think that was really important because otherwise for me it would have been too many eggs in one company's anime basket. So I was writing for Bang Zoom for a while. But now I don't because I don't have time.
That's really cool. I love hearing how people jump into other things. I know I'm not within any industry, but I know for me at first I started out writing a blog, and then I wanted a bigger creative outlet, so I made the jump to YouTube.
Oh,
but like I did like a whole bunch of research, and even had to like do some soul searching within myself and be like, am I ready to make this jump on a bigger platform
where
people are more like criticize people?
Yeah.
But I was like, you know what? I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take the risk.
You'll never know unless you try.
Yeah.
So I love it. So I love whenever I hear people about branching out and doing other things and just like taking a jump into it and not for sure what's gonna happen, but just like I just want to do it.
For doing your research and understanding what it takes,
and not just being like, I want to be famous. I'm making a YouTube channel.
Oh no, I did it for so many different reasons. For like confidence reasons, seeing if I want to do it, and just wanting that creative outlet and. Absolutely love it.
Cool.
So
good.
Thank you. I love that you guys jumped into other stuff. And let's see. If you weren't doing voice acting, what other jobs would you want to be doing?
Well, I'm a currently licensed hairstylist in the state of Texas. I come up to Funimation and do what's called Monty cuts every once in a while, deemed by Mike McFarland, where I cut some of the guys' hair up at Funimation. So that's probably what I would be doing.
I am certified to teach English as a second language. So I think if I were not at Funimation and as entrenched there as I was, my husband and I would probably move abroad again and we would go teach.
That sounds really cool. Is there any character that you haven't voiced that has had an impact on you?
Oh, wow. Sailor Moon.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, because I used to watch that when Toonami was brand new, and I was like a senior in high school is when that happened, and maybe a junior. And my friends actually introduced me to this thing called Sailor Moon. Like I knew what anime was, but it wasn't on our televisions the way it is now.
Yeah.
So I think that she was pretty important to opening my eyes to that whole world again. Then in high school and then again in college, I was so busy with theater and like church and music and stuff, and I realized that nothing was as fun for me anymore because it had become like work. When you're studying a thing like theater to make it your livelihood, it's not like I'm gonna go be in a play and it's gonna be so fun. So I'm like, I need a hobby again. What can I do? And then I remembered I liked anime. Let me watch that and get back into that. And within 6 months, Funimation.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah. That's kind of the same for me. I watched Sailor Moon as a kid, so for me, I watched Sailor Moon when it used to come on right before Gargoyles, and so that's when I used to watch Sailor Moon. It was like 1996. That's when I used to watch it. And I know that for me, when I started watching Toonami was when like Yu Yu Hakusho was on and Rurouni Kenshin and everything like that. But for a long time, until I was like maybe in my junior or senior year of high school, I didn't watch much anime, and I was like, I really want to go back and finish watching like Sailor Moon. I don't remember what happened, and I really loved it, and so like it just took off from there. And in college I was watching it, and then from so on and so forth.
And here you are.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z on your shirt.
I know.
All of the above. But yeah, I agree with Sailor Moon having the biggest impact, because it was one of the first shows that I remember where it was like an all female cast.
Yeah.
That's a big deal.
And they weren't having a guy save them. It was like they were kind of saving him in some episodes. But it was like one of my favorite show. Still is. My mom knows I'm obsessed with Sailor Moon. I've made her watch it with me a few times as a kid.
I think she's still such a powerful figure, because while she definitely steps up to the plate eventually and she gets there, it's wonderful to watch her journey and know that she's kind of a failure a lot of the time, and it doesn't take one person to accomplish anything. You need a community, and it's only when it's her and everybody together can she like be successful.
Yeah, I like seeing that even though she's a leader, she has flaws.
Yeah.
And that she's not like that perfect leader where you become like, oh, she's just so perfect, she has no flaws. Like, she showed she had flaws by being clumsy and boy crazy and like not doing well in school. And so for me, I was like, oh, I'm very clumsy, so I understand this.
Like, there's hope for me yet. I can still save the world.
Yes.
Can we do just one more question? Because I have to run to autographs. I'm having so much fun. Like, I feel like I could keep talking to you all day, but I gotta think.
No worries. And last question I have is, what other shows do you watch that aren't anime?
Oh.
I don't watch a lot of television. Like, that's why I suck at the Comic Cons, because everybody's like, oh, that's so and so and they're in this. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Is that supposed to matter?
Yeah, I do. I'm sure they're great. They're really pretty. Yeah. Ron and I have been watching Forged in Fire. I feel like I'm going to learn how to make a blade. It's going to be awesome.
I also don't watch too much TV. I watch a lot of cartoons that aren't anime, just because I can be picking things up just from the voice actors, and it just kind of inspires me. But I'm not watching mouth flaps and thinking about how does that happen, and I could just kind of zone out. So like things on Cartoon Network I really love, like Teen Titans Go and The Amazing World of Gumball, and those I love that stuff.
Yeah, for me, it's
I like to
always,
laugh.
For me, it's always YouTube is what I watch all the time at home, and I also am like obsessed with Game of Thrones now.
I've heard, but that's a good show apparently.
I ended up binge watching seasons 1 through 6 before.
My fiance did that. He's so into it too. I feel like maybe I need to watch it at some point.
Books are good though, kids.
Oh, I read all the time.
Okay.
So definitely. Oh yeah, I stack of books at home that I still have yet to read. My dad goes to the bookstore all the time.
That's great.
So yeah. But thank you guys so much
Thanks
for
for
meeting
having
with
us.
me.
It was great to meet
Thank you. I was so glad to meet you guys, and just I'm so
It's our
appreciative.
pleasure.
Thanks
Our
for
pleasure.
having us, and thanks for watching, you guys.
Bye. All right, you guys, that was my interview with Caitlin Glass and Monica Rial, and I hope you guys enjoyed it so much. I know the audio probably wasn't the best, but I definitely tried, and I hope you guys once again enjoyed it and learned a little bit more about some of your favorite voice actors. I will leave links down below, links to all of Caitlin Glass and Monica Rial's information down below, so like their Twitter, their Instagrams as well, and I will also leave link down below for Caitlin Glass's YouTube channel, so be sure to check that out as well, and be sure if you go there and leave a comment and let them know that Shay sent you. Alright, you guys, I hope you guys had a great day, and I have a new video out for you guys on Saturday. Alright, you guys, and like always, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Alright, you guys, bye.